Hello and welcome to the Aesthetic Business Masters podcast, the show where we explore the strategies, innovations and stories shaping the future of the aesthetic industry. I'm your host, Nicole Montgomery, and in each episode, we speak with leaders, founders and change makers who are helping clinics grow stronger businesses while delivering exceptional patient outcomes. Today's conversation is one I know so many clinic owners and aesthetic professionals will find incredibly valuable because we're diving into one of the most exciting and fast evolving areas of aesthetics right now, regenerative skin health. Joining me is Phil Dubois, founder and managing director of Monesthetica. Phil brings extensive experience across operations, sales and marketing within both the regenerative medicine and aesthetics industry. Having spent years in senior leadership and executive roles at one of Australia and New Zealand's largest professional skincare distribution companies, he has a deep understanding of the clinic channel, the day-to-day realities businesses face, and what it really takes to build a trusted, long-term partnership that supports sustainable success. Phil is a true advocate for the industry and deeply passionate about all things skin. His clinical understanding of skin function, combined with his belief in the transformative power of skin health, gives him a unique perspective on what real innovation looks like, not just in terms of products, but in terms of outcomes, confidence, and impact for both patients and practitioners. Through Monesthetica, Phil and his team are empowering aesthetic professionals with advanced, clinically driven brands designed to support real skin transformation. Their portfolio includes Creme Aesthetics, a regenerative range powered by pure exosomes and PDRN, and My Skin Chemistry, a streamlined barrier-first home care collection focused on performance, simplicity, and healthier-looking skin. In this episode, we're talking about the science and positioning behind pure exosomes, why true exosomes differ so significantly from synthetic or exosome-inspired alternatives, the growing importance of a barrier-first philosophy in home care, and how clinics can use regenerative approach to support superior, more consistent outcomes across treatment protocols. Hello, Phil, and welcome to the podcast today.
Hi, Nicole. How are you? Good to be here.
I am wonderful, and I'm so excited to get started because we're going to start with some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So rapid fire means we're literally on fire, whatever comes to your mind first.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's do it then.
Excellent. Coffee or tea?
Coffee first, then tea.
And what's one word your team would use to describe you?
Well, it depends what your podcast is rated, actually, but I'll behave. I'll go with collaborative.
Fantastic. And a swim or a sauna?
I'd go a sauna.
Everyone loves a sauna. And if you had to describe skin transformation in 3 words, what would they be?
Probably personalized, optimized, and balanced.
Oh, I love that. Excellent. So, Phil, let's dive into the nitty-gritty and start off by if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to create Monesthetica.
Sure. Well, Monesthetica really started with my early exposure to regenerative medicine earlier in my career. I worked for a company that commercialized autologous cellular therapies for skin restoration, and that experience completely changed the way I think about skin. It showed me just how capable the body was to regenerate itself when you basically get out of its way and you don't try and fight it. From there, I moved into the aesthetic industry with advanced cosmeceuticals, which really expanded my experience across devices, cosmeceuticals, and clinic operations. And that's where I really fell in love with the industry. And, once you're in aesthetics, it's very hard to leave. So when my role ended there, I guess due to a corporate restructure, I had a chance to reset. And then through my industry connections and contacts, I was able to be introduced to some really innovative skincare brands from around the world that weren't yet available in Australia. The science and the quality and just the thinking behind them was just exceptional. So I couldn't ignore the opportunity to bring them here. And that's how Monesthetica was born.
Phil, you've had such extensive experience across the aesthetic and regenerative space, and clearly both the clinical side and the business side of what clinics need. What was the gap in the market that you saw that inspired Monesthetica?
Yeah, really good question. I guess having worked across different distribution models, one thing became really clear to me is that bigger doesn't always mean better. So clinics don't want to feel like a number. They're looking for a genuine partnership, real support, and long-term relationships that are built on trust. So for us at Monesthetica, quality was non-negotiable. We focus on premium, clinically driven products that clinics can actually integrate into their clinical practice. It's not just exciting science. It has to be a solution that will elevate a treatment menu and really elevate that client experience in a meaningful way.
Absolutely. And I mean, goodness, anyone in business knows how hard it is and the ups and the downs and whatnot. But it really feels like you're a friend to all of your clinics. And you see that time and time again when we go to conferences and things. And it's like we're all just, friends
Yeah,
catching up.
yeah, which I love. I think that's a really nice foundation for a good relationship.
Absolutely. So, with Monastetica positioning itself as more than a distributor, you're more of a partner to clinics. How does that partnership approach work, or what does that look like in practice?
Yeah, look, we've taken a very deliberate boutique approach to the way we work. And we really have the aesthetic professionals sitting at the center of everything that we do. And because every clinic is different and success looks different for each one of them, we don't make assumptions. We really listen first and then we tailor our support based on what they need. So some clinics need more education and protocols, we provide that. Some need to more about optimizing their offering or improving outcomes, then we look at that. We meet them where they're at, basically, and help them in a way that's going to help them move forward.
That collaborative approach is so innovative, especially with AI and everything, coming in now. Everybody does feel like another number. So I think that personalized support is really beautiful. And with those three elements, innovation, collaboration, and personalized, why do you think they're so important in today's clinic environment?
Yeah, well, I guess clinics build long-term relationships with their own clients, so they should really be expecting the same from their suppliers. That just feels like a given to me. So the competition is so intense now, and clients are incredibly well informed thanks to the internet and social media and AI. So innovation is essential, but it has to be relevant innovation. It can't just be innovation for innovation's sake. And when you combine that with collaboration and personalized support, clinics are far better positioned to stay ahead of that intense competition and deliver consistently good results, which will keep their clients coming back.
I'd love to talk about Premay and what pure exosomes actually. I felt like a couple of years ago, one day there was no exosomes. The next day it was like the market was just flooded and there's exosomes everywhere to grow hair and improve your skin and, do all these crazy, amazing things. But it's very confusing and there's so many different types of exosomes. Can you break it down to what exosomes are in a really simple way, and I guess the difference between a synthetic exosome and or what Premay is, and your perspective of what exosomes are and how they're different to what skincare was prior to the introduction of products like Premay.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Well, I guess an exosome is really a little packet of information, and that's how our cells communicate with one another. They send out these little packets of information, little signals. They get absorbed into another cell, and then our own innate intelligence knows what to do with that information, right? Whether it needs to be work harder, repair damage, whatever it needs to be. And yeah, you're right. There are lots of different types of exosomes. Now we have these synthetic exosome complexes, but a true exosome is exactly that. It has to be true. And real exosomes, so naturally produced exosomes, they carry such complex biological messaging that synthetic or exosome inspired products simply cannot replicate. So it's not just about what they contain, but it's how they signal in the body that makes all the difference. And that natural complexity that is in an exosome is what drives a very balanced, effective communication within the skin to get those ideal results, rather than having something that is man-made that might only replicate one part.
So when you say pure, the purest kind, is this a little bit like when you're at the grocery shop and a tomato's organic or not organic?
It could be a little bit like that. When we say pure, we're really referring to a combination of the source that we get our exosomes from and how we isolate those. So the pre-made pure exosomes, they're sourced from human umbilical cord blood. That source has been chosen because it represents the youngest and the most biologically active origin for regenerative signaling. We then use this patented extraction process that is designed to preserve the integrity of those exosomes and the purity. So they're maintained exactly as they were formed in utero. There's no cell culturing, there's no chemical processing, there's no freeze drying, none of those nasty things. It's just basically isolated from the umbilical cord blood. And clinically, that purity matters because it really allows those exosomes to function as nature intended without any noise or contamination interrupting that cell signaling.
This is really complex and obviously very sophisticated. Why is the full biological cargo and signaling complexity
Yeah.
of true exosomes so important compared to synthetic attempts to replicate their function?
Yeah, well, I guess, see, exosomes work because of their intrinsic complexity, not in spite of that, right? So that there's a real intricate balance of signals that allows skin cells to function optimally without being overstimulated as well. And synthetic alternatives, they try and copy parts of that process, but they can never really recreate the harmony, that concert that happens within the cell when all of these processes are happening in an optimized fashion. So what we see with a true exosome is a more controlled repair and I guess basically a return to a healthier cellular behavior rather than just one aspect.
Wow, you're making some really complex, topics and it sounds really simple, which is great. But I guess it's still confusing for people when there are, plant-derived exosomes, meat-derived exosomes. There's so many different derivatives. I'm assuming that there is some science behind this that has started so many different branches of exosomes.
Yeah, absolutely. And pre-made pure exosomes have been extensively tested at both a molecular and a functional level. And what we've seen from the studies is that it's showing a significantly enhanced keratinocyte proliferation, and that's up to 3 times more than other humans derived sources, but also an exclusive activation of fibroblasts, their proliferation and migration, which we're not observing in other sources. So and that leads to this better level of functional outcome that we're seeing in clinical practice. But in practical terms, what it really translates to is faster recovery, improved skin texture, and stronger skin structure because we are activating those fibroblasts, and the outcomes are more consistent and clinically relevant then in that respect.
Wow, it's such relevant timing because healthy skin, working with the skin, hydration are all really trending terms, supporting the skin barrier. At the moment, there's a really big popular shift towards healthy skin as opposed to fixing or changing or freezing. So it's very exciting.
Yes.
For clinic owners listening, how should they be thinking about integrating pure exosomes into their treatment protocols in a way that enhances both the patient outcomes, but also differentiates them as a clinic and a practice?
Yeah, well, Premier Pure exosomes, they can be used as a standalone regenerative treatment, or they can be integrated into other corrective procedures and device treatments that the clinics already offer. So in that respect, they can reduce downtime and accelerate healing and improve the final results of those treatments. There's also an advanced exosome-infused home care that Premade offer, and that allows clinics to extend those regenerative benefits well beyond the clinic treatment room. So they're getting that continuity, which is the key to sustainable and durable results, and that can set them apart from other clinics in the area.
And for with an aging population, because it feels like all the baby boomers, fastly becoming dependent on their their younger ones. Do you see regenerative medicine and regenerative medicine in aesthetics particularly becoming more popular?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing to know is that skin regeneration isn't just one size fits all. Like you need different things as well. And what I love about Prima is they really developed a complete portfolio. So we're really catering for all those different skin types, all those different life stages, and we can customize a treatment without compromising on purity or efficacy. So, I mean, for example, the range includes regenerative actives human, as we've discussed, but also from sit at the top of that, we've got PDRN from cell DNA, and also we have a plant-based exosome option, which allows practitioners to really tailor their treatments to different skins, different philosophies. PDRN, for example, it's known to rejuvenate skin, and it really has a good, strong focus on cellular repair, acting as both a repair signal, but also as a building block for skin. Whereas our vegan option is plant-based, and it has an exceptional antioxidant and renewal effect. So there is really something for everyone.
It's incredible. And I feel like every strain has inflammation, dehydration,
Yes.
needs repair,
Yes. Yes.
especially at the end of summer.
Absolutely. And all of those skin outcomes, they all come back to cellular communication. So, as we age, all of our cellular communication slows down. It's just an unfortunate fact of getting older. And if we're able to restore healthy signaling, the skin repairs far more effectively, inflammation settles, hydration improves, and overall skin quality lives. So when you support skin regeneration at a cellular level, everything improves together.
And is this a long-term commitment? Like, are you doing this treatment constantly every month, every week, every quarter? How often
Yeah.
do people use exosomes?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, the question is always, it depends. It depends on the client's lifestyle, what they're looking to treat, what outcomes they're looking for, their skin goals, all of those things. But typically you would do it as a course. So you do an initial course, really reset that skin, give it a good boost. Once you've introduced the skin to exosomes in the treatment room, for example, those effects are going to keep going for a few skin cycles onwards because we've started a process. And then we've got the home care to maintain those results. So if a client's very good with skincare and they're looking after their skin and their lifestyle is very, very good, then they're not going to need as much. Whereas someone who maybe sees the sun a lot, has other factors going on, then yeah, maybe they do need to have it more often. But like everything, if your skin, it's not a one and done. It is something that you have to maintain and upkeep, like any active that we have in the industry. You see the effect, and then after, without it, the results do fade away. So they're easy to maintain. They just need to be done. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. So beyond the exosomes and PDRN, the range from Monesthetica incorporates really tailored skin cocktails, because what you're talking about is literally tailoring to every single patient.
Yes, yeah, and again, like Primo have done a fantastic job, not just in their regenerative line, they've also completed this end-to-end professional solution. So you've got pure exosomes and PDRN, setting that regenerative foundation, and then you've got this cocktail line, which takes a more targeted approach. So the cocktail line was developed to really address specific concerns like pigmentation, texture, and signs of aging, whilst the regenerative line is really about that cellular health. So together, it allows clinics to truly customize an end-to-end treatment plan that is supported both in clinic and from home.
And what about if the clinic has invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in technology? Can the exosomes, these cocktails, PDRN, complement those modalities?
Yeah, absolutely. Because what they're able to do in that treatment plan is elevate the outcomes and give more predictable outcomes as well. So when the skin's regenerative capacity is being supported, it responds better to other treatments and the results are more consistent. So if you add in cohesive home care as well, you get that continuity from home, and that's really going to elevate the long-term outcomes that clients have invested in, from device treatments and then elevating them with exosomes and regenerative treatment.
I think I know the answer to this next question, because I was going to ask what sets Premay Aesthetics apart. But I feel like you have already answered that in saying the partnership and the support. And like your exosomes, you're providing individualized support to each clinic owner. But is there anything else that you would say that Premay is unique?
What really sets them apart is this pure technology, sets the foundation for Premay's regenerative range. Their focus is really on delivering the most potent, best-in-class regenerative actives in the purest form. So that's what they're all about.
And Phil, home care is obviously so important in building a business. It's so important in ensuring that your clients get the best possible outcome leading up to, prior to a treatment, post treatment, and, obviously supporting that skin barrier. With Monesthetica, you have the My Skin Chemistry range. Can you tell us a little bit about My Skin Chemistry and how that supports clinics and is different to another product out there?
Yeah, so My Skin Chemistry, it's a lovely little, you know, sort of capsule collection of home care that takes a barrier first approach to skincare. So, we understand the skin barrier is basically fundamental, right, to skin health. When it's healthy, treatments work better, recovery is smoother. But unfortunately, modern skin is under constant stress. So we've got UV, we've got pollution, aggressive actives, because we've all been there, overusing them, procedures. These all contribute to chronic inflammation. And over time, that leads to sensitivity, dehydration, inconsistent results, because the skin can be a bit unpredictable. So barrier repair has to be regenerative. It can't just be hydrating, and that's where My Skin's chemistry comes in.
I totally understand what you're talking about. I have a teenage son, and he went to Coles and got some wonderful cleanser for acne because he had a few pimples. And
Oh,
I ended up having to take him to the doctor because he had
yeah,
literally done a chemical peel on himself.
yeah.
It
It's
can-
too easy to do. That's the thing. Things are at our fingertips, and if you don't know what you're doing, then it's very easy to overuse. And that's why we need this resilient barrier to save us from ourselves sometimes.
Absolutely. I remember when I was a teenager, there was a product that used to be sold on TV, and it was like
Yeah.
like an infomercial, and everyone was walking around with like dry, flaky skin. Oh,
Oh dear.
I know the things we do. Oh, well, we don't anymore
Oh,
because we know better and we have My Chemistry. So
we
the My
do. We're educated. Oh.
yes, the My Chemistry range is multifunctional and designed to complement hero brands rather than compete with them. Why is that an important part of the strategy?
I guess because that's actually how clients shop these days. So there's not many clients that will commit to just one brand. They look for a solution, and whether that comes from multiple products, multiple brands, that's how they shop. And My Skin Chemistry really fills that gap without forcing clinics to replace their hero brands. They can basically strengthen their overall offering rather than competing with what's already working on their treatment menu and in their retail.
Absolutely. I think one of the hardest things for myself and, some people that I know is that we are so incredibly, I don't know, just running 100 miles an hour like on a hamster wheel. And between working, between juggling kids, between, managing a house and whatnot, that there's just, too many things going on and not enough time. When somebody suggests to me, a 10,000 step routine with 5 different types of serums, I nearly have a heart attack. And although I may take the product,
Yeah.
I will never in a million years use it. How do how can clinics or clients, I guess, utilize My Skin Chemistry to integrate into their home care routine without feeling like they're taking on a whole nother job?
Yeah, yeah, and it's a really excellent point, because a lot of people do feel that overwhelmed with just, multiple steps, multiple products. When does this go when? When can I not use this? And I guess it's really about having a smarter formulation, and that's the approach that My Skin Chemistry have taken. So they've combined PDRN with a patented Hyalocalm technology that's exclusive to them. And this creates basically a complete regenerative barrier system. You've got PDRN there, as we've spoken about before. It's there. It supports cellular aging. It's calming, whereas Hyalocalm delivers deep multi-layer hydration using another patented ingredient that they have created called sonicated hyaluronic acid. And that's all combined in a specific ratio. And together, that strengthens the skin barrier. It calms signs of inflammation by up to 94%. It can improve skin vitality by 20%. And it supports long-term skin quality. And it does that all with fewer products and fewer steps because they're using smarter ingredients and better technologies. So that's how they do it. So you don't have to look to a myriad of products to get the same effect.
That's so fantastic because I can tell you, Alfie is lucky if he uses sunscreen in the morning and he uses Palmer's cocoa butter in the night. And so many people have said, we can fix your rosacea, we can do this, we can do that. But here's, what you've got to use in the morning, here's what you've got to use in the night, and this is the,
Yeah.
the prescription you've got to follow. Do you think that it would be a smart move for clinics to move more towards that streamlined home care that's easier for people to implement and embrace?
Yeah, look, obviously I'm biased. I think so. It's not for everyone. Some people do like, the more elaborate routines, and that's completely fine. But I do think something a bit more streamlined has a place in a modern clinic because that's where the clients are moving towards. So, and also it's easier on the clinics as well because a streamlined range simplifies prescribing, it reduces their consultation time, and it makes training easier. So you've got this nice base routine that anyone can use, but you're not compromising outcomes. It's still high quality skincare with excellent quality actives. And for many clients, that simplicity will improve compliance dramatically. So, and then that's what leads to their skincare goals. If it's too many things and they can't do it, they're not going to do it. And therefore you don't get a result. Whereas if we can just simplify that, have multifunctional, high performing actives, then they will use it and they'll get the amazing results that, they could be achieving.
Oh, I love the use of this word karma. I'm excited to put some on my face and feel calmer.
Yeah. We all are.
And how can practitioners use my skin chemistry to support treatment longevity, calmer skin, stronger barrier function without overcomplicating the patient journey?
Well, I guess my skin chemistry has been specifically designed to integrate seamlessly into these corrective procedures. So they're really there to enhance outcomes through having a nice pre-treatment support and post-treatment support. So they can be used at all stages. Being barrier first, it means that it's going to improve the tolerance and predictability of those treatments. So that's how it works hand in hand by preparing and calming the skin afterwards. By preparing the skin treatment, the skin before treatment, you are going to get a predictable result, but also it is going to accelerate that recovery afterwards too. And less inflammation, less downtime, better long-term results is the aim of the game here, but without complicating that treatment journey. Because the moment you start doing that, compliance drops off and then you're back to square one.
Yeah, consistency is key.
Mm.
And Phil, my goodness, I'm sure you've seen it all in this industry, and you would know that as a distributor, you'll have clinics who buy hardly anything and expect first-class service and the top of the line treatment and roll out the red carpet. And then there's other clinics who put in huge orders and probably don't ask for very much at all because they're so busy. Being in a position where you understand these realities, what do you believe clinics need most from their brand and distributor partners in today's climate?
Yeah, I guess, and it's a fair call. I think innovation is always going to be high up there and having that delivered with personalized support, and personalized service. So, and it's not just about doing what everyone else is doing, but really looking at, taking that time to understand what does each clinic actually need and helping them in a meaningful way. And I feel that's where the value really sits because like you said, it's, if you're a small clinic, you need a higher amount of service. Great. That's fine versus a bigger clinic that is almost too busy to even to have those chats. That's also fine. So it's really just meeting them where they're at and then giving them the service that is customized for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, as a client, it's wonderful to see a clinic that is innovative because you think, oh, wow, they're using the latest, the greatest, and I'm going to get the best from them. How important do you think it is for clinic owners to align themselves with brands that are not just, the next big fad and innovative, but also clinically credible
Mm,
and, commercially viable and easy to integrate into the practice?
mm. Yeah, I guess look, innovation is certainly important, but as you've said as well, if a brand isn't clinically backed or easy to integrate, well, then it's really not going to go very far. You want brands that are clinic exclusive. So ours are clinic exclusive. They're professional led, and they're very easy to incorporate into existing protocols. So the learning curve is very shallow, but the results are exponential. So it's exactly the trade off that you want. And our portfolio has really been designed to support all aspects of the treatment journey from pre to post care to long term maintenance. So we really try and have everything covered within the ranges.
Yeah, that's incredible, Phil. And look, if we look at Jennifer Lopez, 50 is the new 40, 60 is the new 50, and all these
Yes.
fantastic celebrities. It's just incredible looking, Instagram at the red carpet 30
Yeah.
years ago compared to the red
Yeah.
carpet today. Maybe
Yeah.
puts us all to shame. But with that in mind, and such a competitive market, where do you see regenerative
Yeah.
aesthetics and barrier-focused home care heading over the next few years?
Yeah. And look, and to your point as well, I mean, as a 45-year-old, I certainly identify with that, and I'd like to identify as being a 35-year-old from that perspective. So I'm on board with the JLo train on that. But I guess what I've observed most of all is just we're really moving away from fragmented treatment. So it's really about this long-term skin health and skin optimization, and that's where the longevity part of it lies. So it's really about prevention and not just correction. So I mean, clients certainly they want to build resilient, high functioning skin first, and then they layer in the corrective work. So they get that foundation done first, and then they look at, okay, well, what do I need? Because also once you build resilient, high functioning skin, a lot of those issues are actually resolved. So you're not chasing symptoms all the time. You're getting to the root cause. And I think a lot of clients will now measure their success of a skin treatment, not just how their skin looks like as they're leaving the clinic. It's more about how it's going to behave every day. So it's looking at the function of that skin, not just did it look plump and juicy as I left the clinic. And I think that's where the real difference lies.
Oh, everyone wants to feel juiced and
Yeah.
plump. Like beautiful new glass skin.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, I can't believe that this is it the second year of Monesthetica?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Honestly, it's
And it's
mind-blowing.
fine. Yeah.
It's mind-blowing because you've had such a huge
Yeah.
impact on the industry. You're everywhere.
Yeah.
There's so many clinics that are using your products. You've got the Mike Skin Chemistry, you've got the Preme. You've absolutely killed it. You've done so well. So I think it's congratulations to you. And it's a huge testament to your business acumen
Mhm.
because you really have done an incredible job. I mean, most people don't survive the first year. It's like the first year at uni. It's
Yeah.
not
Well, it's also having a good team behind you as well. So it's having support. It's not just me.
you guys have done a great job. You've got an incredible marketer and, Sonia's amazing. You've got a great sales team and, Nick's out there telling everybody about how great you are. And yeah, you guys just absolutely kill it and do such an amazing job. Any clinic would be lucky to have you as partners. If a clinic owner or practitioner is interested to learn more about Monesthetica, Preme Aesthetics, or My Skin Chemistry, what would you like them to most understand about your mission? Or what would you suggest to them? How would they get in contact with you and learn more?
Yeah, yeah. I guess the key takeaway we'd like them to know is that we're here to support you. We're here to support them as a clinic owner, as a therapist, as a practitioner. Everything we do is about empowering the aesthetic professional to create real skin transformation through their hands. So we totally respect they do all the work. We just provide the tools, and that's our role in there, is to really help and support them, provide them these excellent products, support they need to use them. They do the magic. They're the ones who are in there doing the work, and we're here to support them doing that.
Well, you have a phenomenal team and a remarkable product that is, I love the simplicity.
Yes.
I say the simplicity, I guess, because we just came off the back of talking about the skincare, but then also the incredible complexity of the exosomes and the PDRN, and it really is remarkable, and you've just done such an incredible job.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're most welcome. And I can't wait to see you soon in Sydney at Aesthetic Business Masters.
Absolutely. Definitely. Can't wait to see you in person and catch up.
Phil, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your insight, your passion, and your vision for where regenerative aesthetics is headed. I think what really stands out from this conversation is that true innovation in our industry isn't just about trends or clever marketing. It's about clinically driven solutions, trusted partnerships, and giving practitioners the tools they need to create real, lasting transformation for their patients. From the science and positioning behind pure exosomes to the broader regenerative strategy of Prime Aesthetics, and the simplified barrier-first approach of My Skin Chemistry, it's clear that Monesthetica is focused on supporting clinics with solutions that are thoughtful, effective, and built for modern practice. To our listeners, thank you for tuning into the Aesthetic Business Masters podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a colleague or industry friend who would find this conversation valuable. You can also connect with us and explore more episodes via Aesthetic Business Masters. Until next time, I'm Nicole Montgomery, and this has been the Aesthetic Business Masters podcast.